And just an FYI, homeschool kids typically score higher than the public school students. It's just statistics. You may be asking yourself, can I really homeschool as a single mom? I'm already the only one providing for the household financially. I have to do everything else for my kids. Do I really want to put that on myself as well, in addition to what I already have going on, versus going ahead and letting the school do it? Your child may not be getting what he or she needs from the school system and you're over it, or public school isn't right for your family. If we've been real with ourselves, we already take on a whole lot, and schooling is the one thing that we don't have to do. It's the one break that we have. And I have my reasons for homeschooling my son. You could be having issues at school that's emotionally, mentally, or even maybe physically damaging to your kid, which is the issues that I was having and why I chose to homeschool, and you need to pull them out. Or you're open to private school as an alternative, but it just isn't in the budget. And by the way, I did do a video about how to afford private school as a single mom, if that is something that you're interested in. I do have a kid in private school as well, so if you're feeling like you just can't afford it, and private school is the option or the direction that you'd like to go, I did do that video, and you can watch it after this one. But anyway, the list of reasons that you're watching this video could go on and on and on and on. But I'm here to tell you there are different ways to homeschool, and it looks different for everyone. So ditch the narrative or what you may think it looks like, because there are so many different ways to homeschool. Some of what I'm going to speak on is what I know about where I am, and you may want to compare it to where you are. See if the laws are different, or anything like that. But I'm going to try to generalize this as much as I can based on what I know to be true where I am. So you can take that and then do the research for where you are. Hey y'all, hey, it's Khameleon Kay, and I help single moms boss up by owning their time, their life, and their finances through entrepreneurship and bossing up in life overall. So if that sounds like your type of vibe, then don't forget to subscribe, and welcome to the fam, Khameleon. So first I'm gonna start off with talking about the different types of homeschooling. I think that when people think of homeschooling, they think of this generalization of what you see in schools, sit down, do your work, or let's say in public schools specifically, where you just, it's kind of like being at a 9 to 5, no talking during class, the socialization they expect to happen, outside of instruction time. It's very, very, very similar to a 9 to 5 in the sense of sitting down, doing your work for 6 to 8 hours a day, and, go home and that's it. So homeschool, it can be that way, but it isn't always that way. So I'm going to go into the different types and what could be good for, what may work better for your family. Okay, so first we're going to start with school at home. School at home is what you think of when you think of school. It's that 8 to 9, we doing this lesson, 9 to 10, very much like being in an actual school setting and doing the curriculum, bam, 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 just like that. That is what school at home is. And if that works for you, then that may be what you want to go for. Everybody is different. It's not my thing, but everybody has what works for them. So the next one I'm gonna talk about is unschooling, which is the one that I pretty much practice for the most part. I do a mix of these, but unschooling is probably the base of what we practice, and it's just informal. It's child-led. It's kind of basically what the kid wants to do. It isn't structured. It's not like that. The kid learns through life experiences, and they pretty much get to do what they want, when they want. They kind of pretty much structure their own day, because it's like there is no structure. It's like whatever they want to do, because we're always learning. So for example, if you take your kid to the beach, they're learning because maybe they're asking about the sand. You know, what happens in the ocean? What animals live in that ocean? Things like that. So, you know, if your child is in an environment all the time where they're learning, and that's like one of the biggest things that I kind of practice, is because they're always learning. You may see things, or you may see them doing things, or be having an obsession with something, and feel like they aren't learning anything because they're obsessed with it, right? But in all reality, kids are always learning, and so that isn't the case, and they learn in different ways. The next one I'm going to talk about is something called classical homeschooling. It is a 3-part learning process, and they go through different stages or processes where it is grammar, then logic, and then abstract. So they just have an order in which they are to be taught. Classical homeschooling is where you learn your basics, meaning, you know, math, science, language arts, etc., things like that, but they learn in 3 stages. I know one of the stages is where they're more interested in certain things, so they're asking questions. Why does this happen like that? You know, etc. You also have the stage where they come to their own conclusion about things, and that's pretty much, that pretty much sums it up. I'm not getting into detail about any of these at the moment. I'm just going over what they are. The next one is Montessori style learning, which is where the child's interests are nurtured. So I say I have a little bit of this going on as well. So basically, whatever the child is into, you basically build a curriculum around that. It also focuses on the development of the whole child, and they're basically taught with a curriculum that nurtures their interests. Unit studies homeschooling is where a core subject is taught on one thing at a time. So again, let's say the topic is, again, the beach, right? And you want to teach your child math. So you may measure the waves, or, for example, science. Then you get into why when the water hits the sand, you know, the textures, or etc. But you take each subject and you just take this one topic and you teach them, but it's all around that one topic. Game schooling is when kids learn through games. This can be electronic, this can be board games. I've noticed too, a lot of people have come up with a lot of curriculums that are based around games because kids are so into them, but it's just educational. It's teaching them in a fun way. So that's what game schooling is. Eclectic homeschooling is where you have goals set up for the kids. Maybe in the morning they do more hands-on learning or hobbies and interests and things like that, but in the afternoon is for the sit-down work that you had for them or something like that. But the whole basis is to meet this goal, and it works good for like kids, if you have kids of different ages, so that everybody, you know, has their own goal. They're working on their own thing at their own pace, but they have their own specific goals. And there are more like multiple intelligence, Waldorf, Charlotte Mason, etc. But you can always do your own research, find what's best for you. Like I said, there are so many different ways to homeschool, and I'm probably not even naming all of them. Like I said, I chose to, for the most part, go with the unschooling and have my son learn through life experiences. If you travel a lot, things like that, you know, they learn a lot through that. They learn about cultures. They learn about, it's just so much to see. So there's so many different ways to homeschool. So as far as the types of homeschooling, there are so many ways to do that. Next, I'm going to talk about homeschooling under the state versus homeschooling under an umbrella. Okay, I chose to homeschool under an umbrella for reasons that I will get into after I talk about homeschooling with the state. So homeschooling with the state is where you are pretty much, the state oversees you. I mean, not even the state, sorry, the county that you are a part of. They oversee and kind of check portfolios and things like that as far as how you're homeschooling your child, how they're coming along. It's just like being in school to me, honestly, because all the stuff they're still telling you, this is what your child needs to learn, this is where your child should be at, you know, with it. We want to see proof of how you're teaching them, making sure that they are getting an equal amount or what they recommend that your child should have as far as each subject, and whether they feel like you're teaching them enough of that or not, through proof, through portfolios, and they do something called reviews. Now, as far as being under an umbrella, some of them are faith-based where others are secular. You can choose what, you know, what fits your family best, and join the umbrella. Now, as far as being on an umbrella, okay, so I'm gonna say with the state or the county, you don't have to pay. Here, at least here you don't. Now, with being under an umbrella, you do. It may not be much. It's not, you know, a lot of times it's not a lot. Sometimes some are, you know, a little hefty, but most aren't. So, you know, but it's all about what direction you want to go with your child. Now, what I like about being under an umbrella is when you do, or if you do choose an umbrella, if you choose to go under an umbrella, more than just the faith of the umbrella or what they believe in and things like that, look beyond that and find out, what are their reviews like? What how involved are they in how you choose to teach your child? I like being under an umbrella because the umbrella that I am under, they allow me to do what I want with my kids. All umbrellas aren't unschool friendly. So let's just put it like that. Some of them want you to have that structure as if they're in school, so you might as well be under a county or a state. You know, they may not be as strict with reviews and they may not be as strict with portfolios, and some are. So all I have to say about that is make sure you do your research. Make sure you know what you're getting into before choosing an umbrella. Some of them are very hands-on, and others allow you to do what you want with your child when you want to, teach them how you want to, teach them what you want to. So just ask those questions, take a deep dive into the umbrella before you choose to go with that one. So as far as diplomas, here, now you're gonna have to check your laws. Here, I can create a diploma for my child, and it's legit. I can do my own child's transcripts for college, and it's legit. So get to, you know, again, this is one of those things you're gonna have to do your research. Here, this is how it is. I can graduate my child, you know, today if I want to, but every state, district, you know, or etc., who, I don't know who's watching this, but it could be different where you are. So just make sure you do your homework around that. Like I said, it's, you know, the laws are a little lax here. Before I move on to my next point, I'm finally allowing you guys to schedule one-on-one calls with me. So if you're a single mom and you want a one-on-one with me for any reason, the link is below, because helping single moms is absolutely my passion. I really love doing it, and so I just wanted to give you guys more access to me. I'm working on something that will allow me to help a lot of you at once, but it's taking longer than expected with everything else I have going on. So until then, that link is available below. As far as testing, kids are allowed to participate in standardized testing if that's something that you want your kid to still be a part of at the school that they be attending if they weren't homeschooled. And just an FYI, homeschool kids typically score higher than the public school students. It's just statistics. If you want your child to be able to participate in the sports at the school that your child would have naturally been attending, that varies by state. So here, no. So for me, I have to put my child in those extracurricular activities and pay for that. You'd have to check your specific state to know that if that's allowed. There are, I think 33 that allow homeschool kids to participate in the sports at the school, in their school district. And that's it for now.
I see the smile on your face, it made me feel good on the inside. Yeah, I came back feeling so fly, and you can blame it on a good vibe. And it's right where I wanna be. I don't need a fee. I'm just giving love out for the free. Yeah, hey, book me a first class seat, bittersweet. When I'm coming back, TBD, cause I've been on a go. Think it's time to get back. Yeah, I know, no, yeah. If I gotta go, know that I'll be right back.